Hello, this is Matthew Robert Payne, uh, and this is a book called Keys to Manifesting a Kingdom Life. And this is chapter 4. I can help other people visit heaven. So, this video and this chapter of the book is going to be about the fact that I've been used multiple times to take people on a trip to heaven. I've heard stories about when Bob Jones was living. Apparently, he used to grab people by the hand and take them on a vision of heaven, and they would remain on earth with their bodies, but in their minds, they'd see a vision of heaven. And the exact same vision that they could see in their mind's eye of heaven was the same vision that Bob Jones would see in his mind's eye as he was holding their hand. And he would take them through heaven, and they would encounter the riches of heaven. And I found that the same thing is true when I help people to encounter heaven for the first time. I'll explain to the people what I'm seeing in my mind's eye, and they can concur, they can agree and see the same thing. The gift of spiritual sight, having the ability to see things spiritually with your spiritual eyes, takes development. You become more and more proficient with seeing things with your spiritual eyes as you get practice. Like any sport or any gift or any ability, you become more advanced, and you become more proficient at it the more that you practice. So some people, when I take them to heaven, see things really clearly and are able to have a wonderful encounter. But some people struggle a little bit to see as clearly as me, and this is only natural and can be expected. Everyone who goes to heaven with me has a good encounter, and it's memorable for them. And so it's truly worth investing the money that I asked for a donation. Each book of mine costs about $250 to $300 just to pay for the typing, and the publishing of the book costs $400 Australian, and the editing costs $200 Australian. So each book cost me $130 for a cover too. So cost me upwards of $1,000 to publish a book. And so getting someone to pay me $130 Australian for them to encounter heaven for the first time, I feel is valuable. And when you understand that your donation to my ministry is going to be paying for a book like this to be published and made free for people to read, then you can understand that even your donation is a contribution to other people being ministered to by one of my books. There's I first went to heaven with another person. I had a friend who was a Christian who was quite depressed, and the Holy Spirit told me to take him to heaven. Then the Holy Spirit directed me to have him imagine something in his mind. And I described a place with a fountain and little children at, and he could see it in his mind's eye. And as soon as he could see it in his mind's eye, he was in heaven. And we had a visitation of heaven, and he had a great encounter, and it really encouraged him. And I taught him to be able to go back to that portal in heaven that we entered, and for him to be able to go back whenever he feels like it, to cheer himself up. So on that first visit, as directed step by step by the Holy Spirit, we encountered a portal which is at a fountain in heaven. And you can read about that portal and not have to pay me for an encounter of heaven. I've got a book called My Visits to Heaven, Lessons Learned. And in that book, it describes the portal and describes what it looks like. And if you can read that and get that vision in your mind's eye, you can go through that portal by reading the book and visit heaven. I've had multiple testimonies of people who entered that portal and had experiences in heaven. So I put that free. That book is free on Amazon, and I put that there free so people can experience heaven. And when I take a person to heaven through a Facebook video or Zoom video, when I enter heaven, we enter via that portal. I take everyone via that portal. About 9 out of 10 people are able to engage. If someone doesn't feel worthy of heaven, or there's different blockages in their life, sometimes they're not able to engage with the portal and experience heaven. But it's only about 1 in 10 people that I've found that fail. If someone donated their money and arranged to have the visitation and they weren't able to see, I can easily press PayPal and refund the money. But I only ask for money because it takes my time. I've got to set aside time to actually do it, and go through the process and go through the spiritual energy it takes for me to mentally prepare myself to go to heaven. Going to heaven for me can be quite traumatic because there's glory in heaven, and heaven feels wonderful, and it can be a real shock to the system to go to such a beautiful place and then come back to dreary earth and depressing earth. And so sometimes visiting heaven is not something I really want to do. And that's why I get encouraged by the donation, because I know that the donation is going to cover the cost of one of my books. And so I get myself psyched up into the right frame of mind through the donation. When I show you the portal, you're able to go back at any time and enter through that portal and have your own trips to heaven. And I've shown many people heaven, and they've given me testimony that they've re-entered heaven through the portal, so they didn't need me to hold their hand on the second or third visit to heaven. They're quite able to do it themselves. I'm sure that if you entered heaven with me the first time and you tried the second time and you need my help, I'm sure I could do that for nothing, just out of my own love for you. I hope that you understand that the reason why I asked for a donation, it's sort of the donation gets me in the frame of mind, because I know that the money being raised is going to help publish one of my books. So if you're watching this video and you want to go to heaven and have me assist you, you can go to the description tag underneath the video and get my website information. If you're reading this book and you want to go to heaven, go to the end of the book and get my website address. Go to the page on Trips to Heaven and book your trip to heaven. I want to share that you can really have your life changed when you visit heaven. And when you visit heaven for the first time, it opens up the grace in your life to be able to have multiple visits.